Today's shout out, I'm really excited about. We have Sabrina Protic here, and she is a licensed financial coach. Sabrina has been doing counseling for financial education as well as business opportunities. So, Sabrina, very glad to have you on today.
Thank you so much. I'm so proud to be a part of the Moza family.
We're glad to have you and really excited to share a little bit about what you do and how you help out here. So, now you educate families, single parents, singles, a number of different groups and our communities about making smart financial choices, which a lot of people struggle with and just don't get the right information.
Yes. I actually, that was kind of like a pivot opportunity. I'll call it an opportunity that I had. I'd been in corporate operations for decades, about 4 decades. And a lot of things changed and some things for the better. And I discovered safe financial protection as I was pivoting. I love to empower people. I have a women's empowerment organization called We. I've had that for about 5 years, and it's about promoting women entrepreneurs and providing information to make people's lives better, especially people, women in business. And when I had to pivot, I just found that this was an area that people needed help with, especially with over 40 million people unemployed, many of them losing their benefits, struggling financially, not knowing what to do with their 401ks if they have to roll them over, not knowing what to do with benefits if they have to resecure them like I did. And so I thought, well, why not step into that arena and do that? And so that's what I rolled into. I got my license with the state of Florida as a financial coach. They call it financial services. That's just a broad umbrella, but it basically means that I can coach people, help them. And what does a coach do, Mike? A coach helps you with the tools and tips that you need for top performance, right? So this is top performance with your financial matters that are important for your family. Oftentimes I sit down with people and they can't even answer basic questions like, well, how much you have set aside for retirement?
Mhm.
What's going to happen if you can't work anymore and you don't have the use of your hands? How are you going to sustain your family, yourself, and put food on the table? They aren't even thinking like that. So we have to have a plan, and that's what I do.
Well, let me ask you now. There's something you had mentioned earlier that you help people achieve specific goals by providing information, education, insight. And that's something I was always taught that vague goals give you vague results. I love that you said specific goals. So,
Here's a question that I ask. So, how much money will you need when you retire on a monthly basis? Well, I don't know. Well, what does your social security statement show that you're going to get? And if you're in your 30s or 40s, you've probably gotten one of those. You might see something like $1,400 a month, or maybe 1,000, or maybe 2,000. And then my question is, well, can you live off of $2,000 right now?
mm,
No.
yeah.
Well, if that's your only source of income when you retire, and let's factor in inflation 10 to 15, maybe 20 years from now, is that going to be enough for you? If Social Security is going to be around, I go, no. So then where's that income going to come from? I got $100,000 in my 401k. And I said, well, have you done the math on that? That's about $400 a month. Is that going to be enough for you? So now we need a plan.
You mentioned to prepare for the possibilities and not just let things happen, but make an active plan.
A possibility that if you're a two-income household and something happens to one of the incomes, maybe critical, chronic illness, or even death, what is your plan to replace that income?
You look at pandemic proof solutions. I love that idea that you're going to prepare for something coming along that you didn't even expect.
Well, what we found out, Mike, is most people didn't have 30 days worth of savings and emergency money, let alone we're into 8 months of this now. So what is your plan for emergency situations such as the pandemic? Everything that I do is safe transactions, safe money, safe layers of protection. Everything that I do is safe. That's my guarantee to you. So I'm here to help you provide a safety net. And I came up with that slogan, prepare for possibilities, because the possible can and will happen at some point in time to everybody.
For people to get in touch with you, your website is www.sabrinaprotic.com. or email Sabrina at sabrinaprotic.com, or by phone 833
If I could give a little shout out about a new project that I'm on. So, because I had to pivot it, I was reached out by a publisher to participate in a book called The Top 25 Change Makers in Florida That Survive Challenging Times. And it's people of those of us that rebounded and have stories to tell. And my story and my chapter is I didn't eat the cake. So you'll have to buy the book to find out why my chapter and what does that have to do with pivoting. Well, you'll get a chance to read my story, but it's a compelling book. 25 authors in the state of Florida that pivoted successfully so far, that got through these challenging times, and we're telling our story. That book will launch end of February of 2021, so make sure you pick up a copy. And I'm also an author. Prior to that, I have a book called Growing Ageless: Think Young and Live Younger. When you go to my website, you can find out how to order that book as well. And also, if you're a woman entrepreneur, check me out at Women's Entrepreneurial Empowerment. We'd love to have you join us.
Well, Sabrina, I'm really glad we got some time with you today. Very excited about this, and looking forward to the book coming out.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care, Sabrina.